Sup y'all, my name is Persuadeo. I'm here to tell you that I got a new project coming out called Potluck. Most of the songs on this project are collaborations with artists and friends I've met over the years. I just want to take some time to talk about each of these songs and maybe have some of these artists talk about their experience making these songs, so check it out. Another song I want to talk about is My Role featuring Voltaire Slapadelic. I had met Voltaire very briefly at one of the most recent Gilman shows introduced by Daniel, but a couple months later, early June, shortly after George Floyd's murder, I was kind of going through some old lyrics and I came across a verse I had written about 3 years prior, and unfortunately what I was saying and what I felt writing that song was still very relevant to today, and I just wanted to put that song out even more, and I felt Voltaire would be the perfect person to kind of like add that little bit more of opinion to it. And he essentially recorded it between protests, and it came out super dope. And we're talking about things that as white artists in hip-hop may feel a little too uncomfortable to talk about, but we're speaking out against white supremacy and white privilege.
How you doing? This is Voltaire Slapadelic. This isn't a scripted video or anything like that. I'm on Persuadeo's song called My Role, which I think is a very it's a nice song. It's a good beat. I was happy to be on it. I think it's an important message about how white privilege is very real, and systemic racism, things like that. They've existed since before they're older than the country itself, and every week to this day you're hearing about new cases. Breonna Taylor, Jacob Blake. It's constant, it hasn't gotten any better. No one's really doing anything about it. When people push back, then, they're the ones that are villainized as, riots or what have you. I think the Black Lives Matter is a very important movement, and this is just showing that it's really important to show support as white people, to use our white privilege to push back against institutional racism, and to that's why the song's called My Role. I in my verse I just talk about how the history of the police themselves is racist inherently. You can't separate that, and so it's important to talk about that, and it's important to talk about that in songs, and it's important to, if you're going to be in hip hop as a white person, to know the history and acknowledge the socio-political aspect of it, and not just to be here because you think it's cool or whatever. So thank you, Persuadeo, put me on this song, and I'm looking forward to hearing the rest of the project.
Current events and civil rights issues, featuring Voltaire, who is one of my good friends as well. We've done lots of music together. We have 2 split EPs, one with me and then one with Dubldragon, and I mix a lot of his music and semi-produce on the back end of it all. So much fun, love him. Oh, and we play video games too. And they have this insane track, and both of them just go off on this one. I was not ready for this collab. I didn't know. Ian was like, I'm really feeling the subject right now. You think I could collab with Voltaire? And I'm like, yeah, probably. Just hit him up. So they did it, and the thing is great, and it's very political and a lot of good points. Highly suggest you listen to that one. And great music, as always.
The first song on the project is called Who Am I? It's actually the one song that is not only a sample, but it's also a feature of who it's sampling. So over the months I've been meaning to do a song with Dubldragon, but I just couldn't find a beat or a topic that I felt fit both of our styles, and I probably sent them at least 4 or 5 songs and even took a lot of them back probably before they even heard them. And this song really was lightweight made by accident, or I just kind of had an idea for a beat where I wanted to sample a bar off of one of their songs, and I just kind of took the first bar off of Dubldragon's song Morrison's Run, and I looped it for the chorus, and just that one bar, which is just Skeptik asking a question, became the whole topic of the song. And Skeptik, I later asked, while asking for their blessing to use their sample, I asked if he would like to be on the song and add a verse, and he was totally down and sent me a verse within a week, which I felt fit perfectly.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Skeptik from Dubldragon. Persuadeo asked me to say a few words about the track he has me on his Potluck project. It's called Who Am I? And he hit me up a good couple months ago and said, hey, I took a bar from your track Morrison's Run and looped it and turned it into a hook. And of course I was like, damn, that's awesome. Like, what an honor for me to you know, hear that beat. And I told him I thought it was dope, and he had my blessing to use it going forward. And I kind of secretly hoped that he would ask me to spit a verse on it, just because I really liked, you know, him springboarding off the idea of just that bar, you know, which is am I truly myself, or a collection of lines, which in Morrison's Run, it's a song about a comic book character, Animal Man, realizing that he is a comic book character and all the implications of that in his life and his, you know, the pain that he goes through and whatnot. So it's really cool to see that idea expanded upon and made more personal by Persuadeo. And so when he sent it to me and I listened to his verses, I thought it sounded really cool, and he asked if I would be down to spit a verse. So, you know, I contributed one, of course, and I'm really happy with how it came out, and I did my best to dig a little deep and hit a little personal and try and get on the same vibe that Persuadeo was on, and I think it came out really, really well. It's gonna be a really dope project. Danny G actually ended up, in his words, double dragonizing it by adding his own little touch into the mix and adding his own piece of production to the beat. And yeah, I think it came out really great. Potluck by Persuadeo. Look for it. Listen for it.
Who Am I? Featuring Dubldragon. And this is cool because he actually remixes one of our songs, Morrison's Run, and he just took a little line. Lucky bastard. The one line that we have in our music with no drums or instruments around it, and you took it. When everybody else has done that. It's like the only part that isn't, I don't know, drowning in soundscapes, because I'm just guilty of that. And so he flipped that, turned that into a beat, and then he was like, that's not enough. I need you guys to be on the track. Cool track, cool instruments. He brought us on, Skep did his thing, and he had asked me to remix the third verse, which is Chad's verse. So I ended up remixing it. I took out all of his instruments and I put in my own break beats and my own synthesizers. After I sent Chad the track, he goes, yo, has Persuadeo heard this track? And I'm like, yes. And he was like, bro, why don't we have any songs where we just have like a crazy drum break happen? And I'm like, well, I'm only one producer. I do my thing and then that's it. But stay tuned. We actually have some crazy stuff.
So with all that said and done, my new project Potluck will be available soon on all major streaming platforms. I'm very proud of every song, and I'm very thankful for everyone who's been a part of it. I hope you could check it out. Peace!